The Royal Navy is in the midst of a radical reboot, and that's on top of the secret edge they've got on every other fleet. After too many years of hearing senior U.S. Navy officers gripe about budget cuts and political interference, it's refreshing to hear a flag officer sounding optimistic. Britain's First Sea Lord, the Royal Navy's senior officer, is Sir George Zambellas, educated as an aeronautical engineer, a helicopter pilot by specialty and a confessed anti-submarine warfare guy. He was in Washington late last month, in part, on a mission to boost the Royal Navy's capabilities, which former Defense Secretary Bob Gates had casually trashed in a British radio interview this year. The Royal Navy, Zambellas said, is seeing signs of expansion, which is a really weird place to be. Including its new aircraft carriers, the evolving Type 26 Global Combat Ship, a Swiss Army knife of a warship for anti-submarine warfare and a multitude of other missions, and a forthcoming replacement for its ballistic missile submarines. The Navy will have half of the UK military's procurement budget for buying weapons by the early 2020s. The Royal Navy has been through much deeper cuts than any US service, only now, Zambellas warns, is the US Navy facing a switch from outcome-led to resource-led planning. That's a polite way of saying that the US military is going to have to live in the budgetary climate that other nations have had to deal with for the past decade or two. As noted here a few weeks ago, US leadership in military technology is no longer taken for granted worldwide. One of Zambellas' most interesting comments was a personal observation from a US Navy commander following an exercise with one of Britain's new astute nuclear attack submarines, the most advanced in the world, according to Zambellas. "How the hell did you do that again?" the American officer said. "That's really annoying." That, in this context, almost certainly refers to the achievement of a new level of stealth. The Cold War era catchphrase among anti-submarine warfare (ASW) operators was, "If you can't hear anything, it's either a diesel-electric or a British nuke." Key technologies like pump jet propulsion, which slashes noise at high speed, came out of the UK in the 1980s and did not reach the US fleet until the late 1990s. Zambellas stresses cooperation rather than competition. It is a point of pride that the US and UK are teamed on the development of the Common Missile Compartment for the next generation of ballistic missile submarines, SSBMs. At an operational level, an increased emphasis on interoperability that started some years ago, in the Persian Gulf, is producing results. One of the Royal Navy's newest surface combatants, a Type 45 anti-air warfare destroyer, is operating as an integral part of the U.S. Carrier Task Force, Zambellas says, noting the significance of the fact that the U.S. Navy is comfortable enough to allow its premier asset to be protected by a UK ship.